In the tapestry of human kindness, three threads weave a pattern of generosity: time, talent, and treasure. Time, irreplaceable and precious, is a gift that connects us, fostering joy and fulfillment. Talent, the unique spark within each of us, can be shared to inspire, motivate, and change lives. Treasure, whether a humble coin or a grand donation, reflects our gratitude and altruism. Historically celebrated, these three T's of giving resonate across cultures, religions, and hearts. They're not confined to the wealthy. Everyone has something valuable to contribute. Modern trends have expanded these paths, with technology enabling virtual volunteering and online fundraising. But the essence remains the same. Giving enhances well-being, provides purpose, and fosters empathy. Whether through corporate social responsibility or individual acts, the many faces of giving remind us of our shared humanity. In a world where needs are many, let us embrace the time, talent, and treasure we have to offer. For in giving, we not only support others, but discover the richness of our own lives. Maggie, when I read your book, you see the world as your family, and you've taken steps in your life that many other people would not take, which is why you mentioned that people ask you, oh, it's so hard. Have you made a sacrifice? How do you personally define these three T's of giving?
Well, I think kind of finding our own purpose and our gifts and how we can share that with the world, but also just seeing each other as being like truly connected, as truly like, hey, we can only work together, and we're only winning and succeeding when all of our human family is succeeding and growing and benefiting together. And just to think that you can build a wall around you and your family and hope that that's enough and hope that we're all going to be okay, that only gets you so far. At some point, we have to realize that no, we all do well when we work together and when we exist in community. And I think that's kind of where our work has landed at Blink now. It's that communities thrive and children thrive and grow when they're embraced and loved and nurtured. And how do we get to a planet where every child is safe, educated, and loved? Because when we reach that point, the whole world's going to be better.
It sounds pretty fundamental.
I'm going to summarize that. We all do well when we all do well. That's it, right? That's the bottom line.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you're in a place where you have iPads and you have devices, but what you're saying sounds very fundamental. Kids just need love. They may not need a smartphone.
Exactly. And a community that nurtures and is thriving and growing around them. So once we build healthy communities, we'll have healthy, thriving children, and then we end these generations of poverty and violence that are very cyclical. And also just, to think that, okay, some of us win the birth lottery and we get everything, and someone else is born, in a neighborhood 15 minutes away, and it's a completely different reality. I mean, it's not right. And we just have to work together to fix it. Whether it's 8,000 miles away or our neighbor next door, we rely on each other on this planet. And we're one family because we all share a home, which is this planet. And just to think in this last, decade that, oh, just take care of myself and everything will be fine. It's not going to be like that anymore. It's just, that only got us so far. And now we see the crisis that we're in, and we've got a long way to go. We've got a long way to go.
Paul, what do you say to somebody who feels like they don't have something valuable to contribute?
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone has something valuable to contribute. I remember being in a bus in rural Brazil, middle Brazil. This bus broke down. More like a 30-hour bus ride. And everyone on the bus got out, and we started this bus on a dirt road. Right. So I'm sure Maggie's seen this a million times in Nepal. For me, I was kind of shocked, but everyone just got out like, we got to help. Right. And so whether you're rich or poor, I think what you said earlier, Andy, is right. Like, we can just give people love, give people really the gift of being present, right? Sometimes that's all it needs. That I see you. So, get rid of the electronics and just look at that person. So I call this listening with your eyes. So let's try to listen with our eyes. Let's just give that person the real gift of being fully present, not thinking about what I want to say, what I'm going to do next, just listening. So slowing down a little bit is enough. And everyone can do that.
James, I know that in your role, you've done a lot of work looking at technology and how technology can really empower donors and organizations. What do you see there? Like, can technology transform our giving and generosity?
Well, I think technology is definitely a tool that can be used to connect community, and everything in balance, right? And so I think we'd be putting our heads in the sand if we thought that we could create an environment where technology is completely out of the lives of children these days. And so how do we use technology to enable a better outcome? And some of that is certainly using technology to drive community giving. We've seen tremendous results when we're not the ones asking for donations, but people from our community are asking their community to contribute to us. And also, there's a role for how technology can be infused into real world play to enhance it as opposed to distract from it. And so we've been looking at a lot of different opportunities to take technology and embed it into a playground where it's not dependent on devices, but enhances the play experience. So one thing that you can envision is sensors on a playground, that when a kid's at the top of a slide and trips a sensor, all of a sudden they hear the sound of a waterfall. And as they're going down the slide, it's like they're going down a waterfall, right? That doesn't get in the way of real world play, that enhances it. But I'd also like to come back to the conversation around talent, because I think it was just so rich what all of you were sharing, and share a couple of experiences, one from Kaboom and one from my family. And for Kaboom, what better way, to Dr. Zach's point, what better way to show kids that they're loved than to create a playground for them, for a community to show that they're loved, right? We see in our work, lots of nonprofits who are in like the economic development business use kids playing as the poster child for a healthy community, but oftentimes it's not invested in. But if you ask kids what matters to them, they're going to pull you aside and say, we need a place to play. And so in our work, what we do is not only deliver a great place to play, but kids are the inspiration for it. They're actually the designers of the play spaces that we create. All of our work always starts with meeting with the kids in the community and asking what they want on their dream playground. And when kids then get to see not only that the community rallied together to create a place for them to play, but that their ideas are coming to life in this play space, it's doubly powerful. But I also wanted to share something from my family life. Andy, you know this. We talked about it when I was on the show before. 3 years ago, my wife was diagnosed with metastatic lung cancer. Healthy, active, never smoked in her life, all of a sudden diagnosed with lung cancer. And I was overwhelmed with all the people who came forward to help. And all of it was, in wonderful spirit to help our family. And anyone who's been on the receiving end of that is so grateful. And at the same time, it's hard to take all of it in. And it may not be the thing that you receive that is most useful to you. And so I got great advice from someone who I consider a true mentor. And he said to me, like, find everyone's individual superpower. And whenever you need that superpower along this journey that you're on, call on it. And so We had friends who had superpowers to connect us with the right medical professionals, and we called on them. We had friends who could help organize kids' activities, and we called on them for that. And that was just such wonderful advice that I've tried to then apply in my work life, where find everyone's superpower for giving, for generosity, and make sure they're able to bring that to the table in order to deliver a great outcome for everyone who's involved.
Don't be afraid to ask for help or identifying people's superpowers. I love that. If the panelists don't have anything to add to this topic, we're going to move to segment 3.